On this week's Throwdown, Kinky Kyle demos the workout.
No! We've got pistols and running.
God, I wish I knew what time this came out.
Or what day. Where's Max?
Before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're on our road to 35K subscribers. And when we hit that milestone, we're going to give away a Black Zinc Rogue 2.0 barbell. Let us know your strategy for this workout in the comments below. That comment is what's going to enter you into the giveaway. Once we reach that 35,000 subscriber milestone, we'll use a random YouTube comment generator on one of these videos where we promoted the giveaway to draw a worldwide winner for that bar. So all you got to do is be subscribed and comment below to enter.
And we can't be taking ourselves too seriously.
Well, hey there, and welcome to the Throwdown. This is part 4 of our 7-part series where we are doing in-person style workouts in preparation for the semifinals. Mia, what's the workout?
This week's Throwdown is 4-time 40 pistols, 800-meter run, 40 pistols, 800-meter run, 40 pistols, 800-meter run, 40 pistols.
For a warm-up, standards, and a scaled version of this workout, check the description down below, or don't.
This week's demo athlete is 𝐲𝐪, KB, as we all know and love him on site. Is that weird?
Yeah, don't really.
He is prepping for West Coast Classic. You've seen him on here before. He's an awesome athlete with big old quads for these pistols.
And before we check his strategy, make sure that you use this hashtag.
I thought it was over there.
This hashtag, or this hashtag, or this hashtag.
Whoa.
Chris has got a lot of work to do.
And we will put you on our social media. I'm not sure which one, though. Let's go see Kyle's strategy.
Strategy, run fast, pistol faster. No, I'm kidding. I am gonna run as fast as I feel comfortable to allow me to go into really fast pistols. Pace-wise, I'm thinking about a 3:30, 800, which is right at a 7-minute mile pace. I think it's gonna be really hard not to come out super hot, come in the door at like a 3-minute mark and then blow up for the rest of it. So I'm gonna keep it nice and conservative, almost try to recover on the run and then go straight into the pistols, quick cadence, right back out the door. I don't think it's gonna be crazy hard, it's just gonna be quads and then my quads are just gonna blow up is the only thing. So yeah, that's my strategy for this one.
Cool. What's the station that plays all the hits?
96.5 The Mountain. Is that right? Sirius XM.
96.5 The Mountain. I've never heard that
Is
before.
that a real radio
I have
station?
no clue. All right, so this starts
There he
and
goes.
ends with pistols with some runs in between. Like Kyle said, he's going to try to sprint the pistols. The separator still can come on the run. Like if you're too slow on your runs, for someone especially that's good at it, you could lose 15 or 20 seconds each of those times. So I think that Kyle's going to be conservative on this, but his conservative is still fast. For most people, think about going fast on the runs because we're not going to be fast at the pistols.
Yeah, my first thing that comes to my brain when I think of this is how do I do pistols without lifters? Because you can't run in them. So that'll be a challenge for me and probably for other people
For sure.
doing this. So I would take an extra long time to warm up your pistol positions.
One of the things I've had success with are the hill lifts that you can buy now. So like Versa lifts.
Do you want to run in those? I know
Yeah.
it's better than lifters, but
I played around with it, and I mean, my running never feels good with my knees, but it definitely isn't as bad. Like, you can't run in lifters, right? But something like that may help. Obviously, Kyle has good enough positions that he can get away with it without having any heel lifts.
so that was a really fast 40 pistols, under a minute. I think that's unrealistic for most people.
Yeah.
But
The way that I would look at this is go back to the pistol workouts that you've done over the last maybe couple of months, or like in the qualifiers that people have done over the last couple of weeks, and then see how fast per rep you are on the pistols, and then come up with a game plan saying, hey, I'm doing 40 in the first round, but also keeping in mind that there's 160 total, which is pretty similar to the stage 2 workout with the GHD sit-ups and rope climb. So that may be one way to kind of figure out your paces on those.
shout out to Chris for sprinting into the back of a car and now this great filming.
Is this the first one that you're seeing?
Yeah.
That first one was a little shaky. Adam was driving and he didn't. I was just like, go. Or no, I didn't say go yet, and he started going, and I almost flew out the back.
It would have been better to have another camera watching you get into the car. So he's at a pretty fast clip right now. Kyle's a really good runner. I don't know his 1 mile PR. Maybe we can grab that before this actually airs, but I would guess it's low 5s.
Yeah, if not less than that.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good runner.
So for him, I think obviously when he talks about a 7-minute mile, that's a pretty conservative pace. But that may be if, let's say, he's a 5-minute miler and he's going to try to run this at 7 minutes, which I have a feeling he's going to run a little bit faster than that. That may be a way that others can gauge, like, hey, maybe I'm a 6-minute mile, so now I'm going to run at 7:30, or I'm a 7-minute miler, so I'm going to run at an 8-minute mile pace. That's probably a good way to kind of pace out the runs.
And then just a note, there are some hills on this down and back, so a little bit extra. That's what comes with running in Georgia, I guess.
I'm trying to figure out, Chris, what you're pointing the camera at right now. At the stop sign.
Is this when Adam's turning around?
Yeah, these are hard turnarounds. Bear with us as we catch up to the guys running down the hill. This hill doesn't, like Mia just said, doesn't look that steep right now, but it actually is.
Yeah.
It's very uphill. The advantage you do have is when you turn around, you get that downhill slope. Now, I don't like that because that actually bothers my knees more, but it allows you to kind of stride out a little bit more. So that's where you see like a longer stride on the way down, and then he kind of makes choppier steps on his way back up.
Yeah, but a downhill with blown up quads, that's like
the worst thing ever.
From the games, the Justin Medeiros, where his legs are like
Flopping
flying
around.
to the side.
Yeah, for sure.
But great pace here. He's almost done with this 800, I believe.
You can kind of tell now that his pace is slowing down. That's just because now this is going back uphill. So if you think about this course, it's almost like a V shape if you were looking at it from like a horizontal plane where you're going down, back up, and then obviously when you turn around, you're going down and then back up again. So he's on that back up. And that's one of the things, like for people that are doing this in person, if this were an in-person competition and you knew like at the games where they had that berm run, it's going to be a little bit slower when you're going up, and then you got to take advantage of the downhills. That's all these kind of little games that you have to play in your mind to make sure that you're keeping the pace that you want.
So he was a little faster than what he said here. That was just over a 3-minute 800. But he transitions right into the pistols.
And that's going to be key too. Like even if your pistols aren't great, I think getting to them and finding a nice cadence really helps. And one of the things I'm like, even watching you, Mia, when you get started, you're kind of like feeling out the first couple of reps, but then all of a sudden you get into a nice groove. And I feel like that's how most people are with the pistols. Like once you kind of get a couple under your belt, so to speak, you can move a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's with lifts in my shoes. This will be a much different
positive.
experience.
Did y'all say, is it a hard no, you can't switch shoes, or you just wouldn't because that's just so...
I think you probably could, but you would
wouldn't see that in
time,
person. Yeah.
But, I mean, if your pistols are that bad without them, then maybe you would lose less time switching your shoes.
Yeah, if you can't do any reps, then it makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be competitive, and these being semifinal workouts, anybody that has made the semifinals obviously can do pistols because they had to do them in stage 2.
Right, for sure.
The one thing I will say is like, look, now they're coming out, and at, 180 reps that they had to do in the stage 2 workout. So if there will be that many every single year, you better just get good at them. Like clean up your mobility for your ankles, your knees, your hips, so that you can do them well.
Man, he just flies through those,
Yeah.
though. His pace was really consistent. I know for me, moving continuously through a set of 40 like that just isn't really realistic. So I usually look at it as like sets. Like I would try to get into it and knock out maybe like 12 to 20, depending on how I was feeling. Take a short break, 10, short break, 10. And that's just how I have to handle them because they start to get really sloppy and I'll like fall over.
Would you, if you're doing sets like that, would you try to keep the cadence fast, or are you more comfortable going at a slower cadence with each rep?
I mean, I always do the rep as fast as I can. I wouldn't say my pistols are fast, but yeah, trying to get through the set at a good cadence and then shake my legs out for a couple seconds.
Right. Yeah, I feel like the only way that I can do them well is to almost go fast. It's like that bounce out of the bottom, because otherwise, especially on my left leg, which I've had multiple surgeries on that knee, it's just very difficult to almost go at a tempo, because then I start rocking forward onto my toe. Whereas if I drop down quickly and then come back up out of the hole quickly, I can kind of find that nice little balance to kind of go back and forth, if that makes sense. So he's at the bottom of the hill. Going back up now.
Up another hill. This hill it's not as steep, but it's longer. I think this hill's worse than the short hill on the way back, personally. But
the best part is dodging cars and vans and dump trucks.
Yeah, there's a cement plant right next to where our facility is, and there are always trucks coming through.
Did you say cement?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like you said submit.
Submit.
I was like, what's a submit plant?
Cement concrete plant.
And
Call it
Chris
that
is
so you understand.
back in the van, accelerating.
Wow, Adam's driving fast now. What a great driver, though.
It's funny how much you miss. Like, I wouldn't have assumed that we'd have to speed that much
Yeah.
back to them. Like, it didn't seem like they would have gotten that far, but they did.
So obviously Kyle has a pacing partner here, which you wouldn't get in a, I mean, I guess you would have the people that you're racing against, but you wouldn't get a pacer if you're doing this in a competition.
He is wearing a watch, and you saw when he turned around that he did check his pace. I think that that's smart to do in competitions, especially if you get pulled into a pace that maybe is too aggressive for what you could actually hold. Having an objective measure on your wrist, I think, is smart.
Yeah, I agree. That's one of the things that actually, Mia, your Kyle and me are doing some Murph prep right now, and I've been trying to track my paces because my runs aren't great. I think it's just something that gives you, like you said, an objective standard to hold yourself to. But then also, it's one of those things where if you know that maybe you can go out a little bit hotter, you can kind of plan your paces throughout a workout. So this is new for him. He's never done this workout before, but if it's something like this did come out, he knows his times from the previous time he did it. So let's say he goes to semifinals, it's run, pistols, and GHD sit-ups again. He knows how fast he wants his runs to be based on this. So tracking that really helps.
That was a big truck.
That's what I was talking about. That was not a cement truck, though. All right, so that was run number 2. He has 40 pistols, 800-meter run, and then one more set of 40 pistols. Let's see if he can keep that same split. He was just over, what, like 1:05 for that last 40, which is just crazy fast.
Yeah, his pace on the pistols is really impressive.
And one of the things I think that makes him really good at it, as soon as he stands up, he's getting that other leg back to the ground and then getting back down as quickly as possible, which is kind of what I meant by like finding that almost bounce cadence.
Yeah, that like side-to-side shift, Noah does that. Most athletes that I see that are really good at pistols do that. I've tried to do it, but I have to like focus so much on making my weight shift forward that if I let it shift to the side, I usually fall over.
For sure. One thing that he's making look easy right now, but that actually may be challenging, is just kind of your quads and hip flexors blowing up a little bit, especially from the runs. If you have a hilly course like this where your hip flexors get tired, it's hard to hold that other leg out. So something to think about and make sure that you warm up well. So he's just at, what, let's say a minute right now. He's finishing up the last few pistols, see if he can keep that same pace.
He had a brief pause, but it was so brief.
Another quick one. I mean, these are still super fast. So let's say a minute 10 there compared to a minute 5 for his first 2 sets. That's no
awesome.
drop off,
For sure.
All right, now let's watch Chris jump back into the Subaru. He does it. Almost hits his head.
Did you tell him there?
And they're off. Yeah, you see the trunk thing.
Let's give a little shout out to him on the YouTube in the comment section. One-man show here doing everything.
No, that was a 2-man.
Well, yeah, Adam's driving, but you're jumping in and out of a car, a moving car.
Did you ever feel like you were going to fall out while you were
that first one, I really did think, like, oh shit, and I thought I was going to drop the camera, and this is going to be like a epic. And that was the first of these 7 we filmed, so that would have been a great way to start the day.
All right, so last run. I think Kyle in his head now is like, okay, I can do this. I can speed it up a little bit. And you can tell there is a truck behind him now. Sorry, I just cut off my thought.
But yeah, it looks like he is running a little faster.
A little bit faster, yeah. And again, he's taking advantage of the course. So like that was all downhill. You can notice that he kind of lengthened his stride and just let himself fall down the hill. I would do the same thing. If you go to a semifinal, for those that are, or you go to a competition that's in person and there are hills, run faster on the way down and then try to keep yourself at a steady pace on the way up a hill.
Always try to catch someone. That's what I always think during in-person competitions, is find someone and go catch them.
That is a good mental strategy.
Yeah.
I prefer that too. The only problem with that is like you watch it. I talked about Murph at the games a couple years ago where all the guys went out super hot in that first run and they blew up.
I'm not talking about the games.
Yeah, right. That's one of the dangers of trying to go out hot. But once you're in the middle of a workout and you know that you can keep a certain cadence on your run, I think it's smart to pick someone and say, well, can I keep up with them, or start like slowly creeping up and then pass them by the end?
Then what do you do when you start like losing them?
That's also a hard mental battle. I've done that before, especially with good runners.
Hey, you guys caught them faster. That means your getting into the car must have been quicker.
I think it's just Adam doing a better job.
Yeah, we were dialing in the technique.
Took a couple rounds.
So final 400 here. Still looks like he may have slowed down a little bit from when he took off. But he also may be going uphill right now. So
He's doing a pretty good job. I mean, this, again, he's running 3-minute 800s, which is a 6-minute mile pace. And this is, the course is just, I mean, basically, if you go inside that door that you see where he's doing his pistols, that's where it's marked off. He just wanted to do the whole thing outside. It's easier for the camera to do it all outside. So, I mean, he's maybe a couple meters under 800, but he's running at 6-minute mile paces, which is super fast.
Yes.
And unrealistic. So one of the things I would say, again, is make sure that you're pacing based off of your abilities. If you don't know your 1 mile PR time, then you're going to have to guesstimate a little bit. But I would say most people have done 400 meters in like a class workout, or if you're following a coach or something like that, and they've given you that. So you know kind of where your pace should be.
Do you think maybe like your 5K pace would be a good metric to hold?
Yeah, I think for most people, probably a 5K or slightly slower pace because of the pistols.
Right.
For elite males and females, they're going to have to go faster than their 5K and a little bit slower than their 1 mile, obviously, but they're just going so fast in everything now. It's just the same thing of like if they're doing a row workout or a bike workout, they're always going at like that 10-minute pace, which is crazy.
So great transition, and he's definitely sprinting these reps. Let's see how fast, if you can hold this fast pace, because this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and this is where like a good athlete, if they know they're in person, you get there and then it's just, I have 40 pistols left, I need to go as fast as I can. And it's also worth the risk in training, like knowing, hey, I may get a no rep or I may fail, but I need to kind of see where my pistol tolerance is or my resiliency to the pistols after all those runs so that I can push when the semifinal actually happens, which he will be going to one in 4 weeks. Is that how? I don't know.
Is it that close?
Yeah, 5 weeks, something like that. Finishing strong. He started these, 13:05, somewhere in there.
He's definitely moving quicker than his last set.
Oh, a little bobble there.
Yeah, but he saved it, and sometimes that quick breath at the top will help you not get a no rep on the next one.
Really good job finishing these.
Hey, that's me.
Great job. You're also doing the workout on the true form.
I'm just running. And he's done.
14:03. He was faster than a minute on that last pistol set. Good job, Kyle.
All right, whiteboard.
You didn't think I'd be here this week, but I'm still here. Strategy. Who? What? Chili Willy. I'm not Chili Willy. Oh, Chili Willy. He is here. Hey, Chili Willy. Is this spicy? Well, it's probably only spicy if you can do a lot of pistols. 160 is a lot. That is the start of my notes. The end is that our caps are really aggressive. This is supposed to simulate in-person competitions, and we don't really want people just grinding through sloppy reps and stuff. So a lot of you will likely be time capped. I don't think a pistol is a movement that's necessarily dictated by intermediate RX elite. It's really dictated by your mobility and your stability, balance, and control on one leg. So instead of trying to break up strategy into those divisions, I'm just gonna say if 160 pistols is a lot for you, which it would be a lot for me, even though we've seen it in the open and we've seen it in quarterfinals in really high volumes, so we want people to be prepared for it. But if this is too much volume for you, consider doing the scaled workout, which has air squats in it, which is in the description, and then separately, after you finish the workout, so after you practice running under fatigue with tired legs and doing a ton of reps of just knee flexion movements, then do some practice of pistols. We are doing some of that in the design and the intermediate and RX path, so you can actually jump in and get some skill work options. But just to give you some ideas, you can do single leg deck squats, partial range pistols, rig or band assisted pistols. If you put a band in the rig and just basically do a pistol onto the band and use the elasticity to bring you back up, that could be a good option. Or if all three of those are too advanced, just do some mobility and stability drills on your ankles, your knees, your hips, and just develop the ability to get into those positions. So that's the pistol portion of the workout. If you are doing pistols or air squats, essentially you're just gonna squat through those 40 reps as fast as you possibly can. And then there's a little bit of strategy with regards to running. The goal of doing these workouts where you have multiple run rounds with mixed movements, so pistols or wall balls or whatever, is for an in-person competition where you have to run and do CrossFit elements together. And your goal there is to hold your max sustainable pace. It's a total of 1.5 miles of running. So it's gonna be faster than your 5K pace because the workout, Kyle B, for example, was a little over 14 minutes. That means it's less than a 5K, but it's gonna be slower than a mile, which would be, for an elite all the way up to an intermediate athlete would probably be somewhere between like a 5 and a 7.5 minute mile, in that range. So your pace for your 800s is going to be somewhere in between those. I would generally tell people, if you're coming off pistol squats or you're coming off fast air squats, your first 50 or 100 meters could potentially be you working on your cadence and just trying to get your legs back under you to start running, then get up to your working pace and try to run directly into the transition of getting to your pistols or your air squats. So that can kind of give you some sort of an idea of what your pace can be when it comes to running. If you're not an advanced runner, you don't really keep track of time and metrics, you don't have a running watch, then you might just have to do that by feel and just move through both the squatting and the running at as fast as you possibly can relative to your capacity. To give you some ideas, Kyle B's paces, he was about 1:10 per round for the pistols. For an elite with really fast pistols, and there are people out there, Noah, for example, comes up to mind, there could potentially be some time to be had at that portion of the workout. So there's 4 sets of 40. That could potentially be, somewhere between 50 and 60 seconds around, depending on how fast you can turn those over. If you can save time there, then it gives you a little bit of wiggle room here. But Kyle B was running around 3-minute 800s, which means he's running about a 6-minute mile, which is slower than his mile pace, but faster than he would hold for a 5K. So that can kind of give you some sort of a pace structure if you're an elite athlete, or if you're somebody that's intermediate or RX that just happens to be good at pistols and running. So this workout is really dictated a little bit less by our athletic categorization system and more so by your ability to do that specific skill. I do think more elites are going to be able to do that skill, but I've also seen some intermediate or RX athletes that just have great pistols because they're still mobile and they just happen to be really balanced and stable on one leg. So be prepared for that cap to be aggressive if you're not one of those people, and then also be prepared to do the scaled workout and some skill work. That's all I got for you. Chris will make us look like an idiot now, and then Project Pat will sign us off. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to the Throwdown. This is part 4 of our 7-part series where we are demoing. Would you say demoing? Yellow! Oh my Jesus. God.
Did you break it?
Should I say demoing? What would you say there? Where 7-part series where we're
doing qualifier style workouts.
But we're not. We're doing semifinal style.
Oh, sorry.
workouts.
Yeah, that.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.